Well, Zohran Mamdani won the election last night. He's going to be the next mayor of New York. But who was it that supported him the most? The answer is he was supported by the radical elements of the so-called Red-Green Alliance, meaning the radical left and the radical Islamists. Take a look at this clip over here where Mark Levin is talking to an Islamic reformer. And he says, Zohran Mamdani does not represent anything that we stand for. Take a look at this clip. We'll watch it together and then we'll talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
On the life and times of Mamdani is our friend Zuhdi Jasser. Dr. Jasser is a medical doctor. He was also commander in the Navy. And he's a Muslim reformist, American Islamic Forum for Democracy founder. He's also a candidate in Arizona's Republican primary in the 4th. Boy, would he be a great contribution to the House of Representatives to offset somebody like a Talib or Omar and explain really what the faith is supposed to be. But that aside for now, Zuhdi Jasser, so we've got this Zohran Mamdani running, and they're actually people in newspapers who call themselves moderate Muslims are saying, that guy doesn't represent me. Now, the fact of the matter is he's being funded by the most radical organizations in America. He's being supported by Democrat Party operatives, even though nobody's actually talked about that. He's being supported through his mother and their social posts, the government of Qatar. I mean, this guy's got all the wrong actors supporting him, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you're talking about all this, Mark, because it's not just about a deep blue city. It's not just about, New York City and a radical Islamist, but this is part of the global operation of the red-green axis or the Marxist jihadist axis. And as it may be likely that on Wednesday, New Yorkers wake up and have a mayor that would probably be more ideologically in line with Gaza City than with New York City, you probably look back and say, well, this just didn't happen overnight. Many of us reformers have been talking about at the Ground Zero Mosque saying that doesn't represent us. It's a bad idea. I had pieces in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post talking about it. Congressman Peter King and I, over years, and multiple other Muslims testified to Congress about what was happening in New York City and the radicalization. Mamdani comes from the farm team of the Democratic Socialist Party of America, the radicalized wing of the Democratic Party that now is producing this anti-American foment. And if people want to see where New York City's heading, the reason this is so important, Mark, it's where London headed. Sadiq Khan has been the mayor of London for almost 10 years now, and they've seen multiculturalism, identity politics unravel and destroy British identity. And the UK now is just surrendering to foreign interests, to Qatari Hamas sympathy and other things where counterterrorism programs trying to preserve their city, their country, have been dismantled by a Muslim mayor who's Islamist, not just a Muslim, but an Islamist ideologue. And that's what it's about. And that's what Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and so many others of these democratic socialist America are trying to do and put into deep blue cities, and why we need to pay attention to this.
And isn't it interesting, the biggest communist regime on the face of the earth is pouring money into this country, into our colleges and universities, buying as much land as they possibly can, trying to influence our media with different types of trips and so forth, influencing basketball and sporting events. Then probably the wealthiest Islamist regime, Qatar, is pouring even more money into our colleges and universities, into our businesses, into our politicians and law firms and so forth and so on. And at the same time this is going on, in the shadows, we have this Linda Sarsour, we have the Soros money pouring in, we have Tides Foundation, Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation. The irony of Rockefeller and Ford and McCarthy and the rest of these guys who were capitalist titans, now their money is being used to fund communism, socialism, and Islamism. So we're getting it in every direction, aren't we?
We are. And the radicalization has come full frontal, and there's nothing holds bar. The imams he's working with are radical imams that were radioactive post 9/11. Siraj Wahhaj, who back in the 90s stood up and said that this guy is a radical that wants to replace the Constitution with the Quran. Mamdani just a couple weeks ago was taking pictures with Siraj Wahhaj, who is a radical, and now it seems to be normal. No, that's not normal, and it's going to erode our country. And we need to flip the script. And that's why I'm running for Congress, is because I think we need to flip the script, and I can confront these ideas. So many others can confront it. Our Clarity Coalition includes Muslims, non-Muslim, Jews, Christians, Hindus, and others that are American first and reject political Islam, reject socialist, far-left extremist ideas, because we want to save the West. And this is what we can learn from what's happening in New York City. A Republican might never be able to win New York City, but what we can do is create coalitions where it doesn't go from de Blasio to worse, but actually goes to more of a centrist type politics, so that we can defeat these ideas more early on, which we've been asleep at for so many years.
Why would those on the radical left support the Islamists, who Islamists aren't exactly promoting the values and the ideas that the radical left tends to support? So radical Islam isn't exactly known for its great treatment of women, of the LGBTQ community, and so forth. And so why would the radical left, which at least claims to champion those causes, why would they get on board with the Islamists? Well, the radical left views the world from a Marxist ideology. And in that ideology, there are only two types of people in the world. There are the oppressors and the oppressed, right? Those are the only two types of things. And the rubric of how you determine who is a oppressor and who is oppressed is success or non-success. So if you are successful, it doesn't matter how you got there, you got that way in that false ideology by being an oppressor. And if you are not successful, doesn't matter what choices you made, whatever the case may be, you are considered an oppressed person. And so Israel and Jewish people worldwide are viewed as successful. Right? That's at least the perception that many people have. And so they got that way not because of the choices that they made and the values that they have. It's because they are the oppressors, right? They are oppressing. They've oppressed others to get to their own success. And the Palestinians and many in the Arab world are not viewed as successful, or oftentimes living in squalor. It has something to do with the choices that they've made, the governments they've elected, the lifestyle that they live. It has to do with obviously oppressed. And that's the Marxist worldview. And that's why you would have people that are on the radical left that would be in such staunch support of Islamist ideology, which Islamist ideology goes against everything that leftists claim to be fighting for, be championing. And so I think this nail is hit on the head. But when you understand what undergirds it, it helps you make sense of the world. Like, why are these people all coming together? It's not only their hatred of Jews, which is true. It is this ideology of the oppressor versus the oppressed. And when we can crush that ideology and say that ideology is false, it's a mirage, then we can really get to the core of, okay, well, what are the values that we are standing for? What is the worldview that we are championing? What is the light that we are trying to shine and make the world into a place that really can express that, can embrace that? And if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.